Hello and welcome to Season 8, Episode 6 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up in today's episode, we've got two games in the Championship. They're both away, one against Middlesbrough, one against Blackburn. But before we get into that, let's have a look to see how we got to this point. So the last time you were with me was the 3-0 win against Blackpool in the FA Cup. It's fair to say we've been on a pretty good run of form since then. We beat Walsall 5-0. Another Keziah Sterling hat-trick. This man is completely on fire. It's ridiculous. Ambrose scoring as well. And a goal from Johnny Vaughan, who's really made that trequartista position his own, much to the disappointment of Gomez, who was supposed to be playing there this season. We then went away to the big spenders, Oldham. We drew 0-0, but then went on a 3-game winning streak of home games. And we beat Leeds 2-1, Bristol City 3-0, and then we beat Stoke 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup. Now, Stoke, they were a really good side last season. They're not quite as high at the league as they were last season this time around. But as you can see again, the Ambrose-Sterling partnership, it's working pretty well. Ambrose creating 2 goals for Thierry Ambrose in that game. Now, I did say in the last episode, the big challenge for this period was trying to avoid losing any of our players, and unfortunately we haven't managed to do that. And I got in a strop and almost resigned over this because the board have sold one of our players far too cheaply. They overruled me, and it's to our promotion rivals. It's to Bournemouth. They sold their right back Cedric to Everton for something like £4 or £5 million, and then they started coming in with bids for Emmanuel, and then more bids and more bids and more bids, and eventually the board accepted what I personally think was not enough money for him, £4.1 million for Joshua Emmanuel. He was our future at right back. Luckily, we've got James Tavernier at the club still, who can just sort of slot in and fill in for him for the rest of the season. But he's 30, 31 now, so he's not going to be a solution whatever division we're in next season long term. So we're going to need to bring in a new right back, and we don't have any money to do it because they sold Emmanuel far too cheaply. But most frustratingly of all is we're second in the league. We're 4 points behind Bournemouth, and we've sold one of our best players to our title rivals. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. I had a breakdown at the board over it. Had a go at them in a press conference as well. Yeah, I've decided to stick it out, but it's so frustrating. The only player we've been able to bring in was Rune Rowe. I think in last episode it was a bit touch and go whether we were going to get him because the board had slashed our wage budget, and that's still slashed. We can't bring in any more players. We have got Rowe back at the club. He's played 4 games since he's been back, playing very well, and we've had to pay £250,000 in a loan fee to have him until the end of the season. But we had him in the second half of last season and he was excellent. He's back. He's still really good. I don't know why he's not playing in the Premier League for Southampton, but we'll certainly take him for another 6 months. Our finances are a mess. Despite selling Emmanuel, we're £3 million overdrawn. We've got, in theory, we've got some transfer budget because they've given us 20% of the money that we sold Emmanuel for. In practice, there's no way to spend it because our wage budget that was £450,000 has been slashed down to £330,000. We're still spending £400,000 a week. We're well below what our original wage budget was. In fact, let's just try and, see. Even if we put all of that transfer budget into wage budget, we're still overspending by 50 grand, despite letting 2 of our highest earning players go this month. I'm being hamstrung by the board. They reckon I'm untouchable. To be honest, I'm thinking of leaving. I'm really annoyed about it. If we don't go up this season, I'm definitely leaving Ipswich because I can't have another season of trying to play the game with one hand tied behind my back. It's very frustrating. But let's get into today's game. We're at home against Middlesbrough in the away to Middlesbrough in the first one. Middlesbrough are having a really poor season. They're battling against relegation. So in theory, we should be okay. But Thierry Ambrose has got a little cold. So he's had to go home and he's sat on the sofa sniffling into tissues. So he can't play, which is a bit of a problem because he's the only complete forward we have at the club. To be fair to him, he's been available week in, week out, pretty much for the 2.5 years he's been at the club. Pedro Gomez is going to come in today, and I'm going to try and play him as a complete forward. Apparently he can't play there, according to the tactical ability thing. But if we have a look on his actual stats, if we look at complete forward on support, what can't he do that a complete forward should be able to do? I guess the only thing is he's not very good in the air. But so I think we'll just keep him there. I don't want to mess with the tactic that's working so well. Sterling, he's playing well all season, but he's in incredible form at the moment, averaging over 8.5 in his last 5 games. He's third highest scorer in the league now. We're only at the start of February. He's already got 23 league goals. So his value is soaring. He had a release clause in his contract, so we've just tied him down to a longer contract. We've got him for another 3.5 years, which is excellent because he's not on a lot of money. He's 24 years old now, but we've managed to get the release clause bumped up much higher than it was. So it's now a £10 million release clause. To be honest, if he carries on scoring the way he is, he's going to finish the season on 35, 40 goals, in which case people will pay £10 million. But the key thing of it is it's for clubs in a higher division. So if we get promoted, the release clause goes away. So we've kind of got ourselves into the situation with Sterling where he goes into the same category as Ambrose. Now, obviously, Emmanuel was the other one who we were going to have to let go if he didn't get promoted. He's gone now. But we are now in the situation where it's do or die this year. If we don't get promoted, Ambrose has a non-promotion release clause that comes in for like £6 million. Someone will hit Sterling's release clause as well. So we're going to lose the two strikers if we don't go up. So suddenly there's urgency to this season, and we've got to carry on in the form that we've been in, or else it's going to be a complete reassembly next season with not much money, because the 15-20 million pounds we'd get coming in for those two, a lot of that's going to go to clearing the debt, and the wage budget is still going to be a mess. So I've broken Ipswich Town. If we don't go up this season, administration is in the future of this club. So kind of got to go up. The rest of the team should look very familiar. Tavernier comes in at right back for Emmanuel having left. Knudson's playing at left back. Haidar has been away on international duty at the African Nations Cup, I guess. He's back, but not fully fit, so he can sit on the bench for another week. Knudson's been playing pretty well while Haidar has been gone. Zaman and Dane are well established as our centre-backs now. Danny Sotras is having a fantastic season. His average rating doesn't show that, but he makes some good saves. The midfield three, Rune Rowe has basically come in to replace Henry Lansbury. Lansbury can then come on for any of these three players, and he's comfortable playing in any of those four positions. It's a bit unfair on him to lose his place, but Rowe is Premier League quality, so he had to come back into the side. Zubeldia and Christensen were too good to drop, so Rowe slots into that position. It means Emir Hughes has fallen even further down the pecking order. He's 28 years old now, can't even get on the bench anymore, so I think we might have seen the last of Emir Hughes, at least as a regular. He's 29, in fact, so he's probably going to be on his way in the summer, just not playing enough games anymore. And then up front, we've got Sterling, Gomez, and Johnny Vaughan. Let's get into this match. And in real life, I've not actually played this game for a few days because I've been sulking about selling Emmanuel. So I've always had this theory about Football Manager that if you leave it alone for a few days and you're in good form, the game punishes you when you come back, kind of saying, look, you shouldn't have gone to do so. Well, you went and did something in your real life. Don't care that it was your daughter's birthday. Should have been playing this, shouldn't you? So I'm expecting us to lose today. Tavernier's going to I didn't get sent off, good. But yeah, I would be expecting defeat today, even though we should be absolutely battering Middlesbrough. I mean, they're so poor, they're not on the league table that we've got on display there. We've got the top 16, 17 places visible above my head. And they're probably about here somewhere, I guess, if I was to disappear. So, yeah, they'll beat us comfortably, probably. Christensen wins the ball back though, finds Sterling, but there's a lumped ball over the top, and Sotras was just, I don't know what he was doing there, he just didn't come off his line. He's a better goalkeeper than that. Bigging him up before the match, and he was just stationary. Ball comes over the top, it was a lump ball forward, we should have been able to handle it. Sotras should have been out, that we shouldn't have let them get a player in behind us like that either, and the prophecy is coming true. We're losing against a poor side. Sterling's through here though. Can he get the cross across to Gomez? He doesn't find Gomez. He finds Zubeldia, who hits the post. Maybe it's not all over. But then, of course, there's the whole punishing for not playing the game thing, so it probably is all over. And it's all gone a bit quiet. Facecam news, I am looking into actually buying a proper camera rather than using the webcam that I'm using at the moment, which will allow me to sort of move myself around on the screen and record the video for my face separate for the video for the games. At the moment, it's all sort of being done in Bandicam, and it's recording it at the same time. It's the only way I can get my mouth and the camera and my voice to sync up properly. But proper video camera will hopefully be on its way in the next week or so, so we should see another step up in quality on the video production side of things. Feedback on that kind of stuff is always welcome. I'm waffling because nothing's happening, and I'm really annoyed because we should be battering them, and after all that we've got to go up this season nonsense before the match. We're going to lose to a poor team who we should be beating. It shows we really do struggle without Thierry Ambrose in the side. Look how poorly Sterling is playing without having Ambrose up there with him. Maraglia can come on. We'll play Maraglia as the poacher. Gomez can stay as the complete forward. He's having a terrible game, but we don't have another striker. They are our four. So Gomez is going to have to play on unless we're going to shuffle the system around a little bit, but I'm loath to do that. That being said, we could bring Kirk on for Gomez and do something a little bit like this, maybe. What does Kirk want? He likes to be an advanced playmaker. In fact, we'll swap them over. And we'll put Kirk just there as an advanced playmaker on support. Vaughan can carry on being a trequartista like that. I don't expect that to work, but it's something a little bit different to try. We've just been poor today. There's been games in January where we've had 20, 25 shots. And today we've had 4. Neither team's played very well. That's the annoying thing as well. Middlesbrough are rubbish. They've played rubbish. They're still going to beat us because we've managed to be even more rubbish. Lansbury can come on for Rowe. What is happening? Okay, Football Manager, I'm sorry. I won't leave you alone for a few days ever again. I'm sorry I had a grumpy about Emmanuel. You don't care because you're now going to punish me by giving Tavernier an injury. So, the transfer window closed 3 days ago, and now we've got no right-backs. What's this going to be? Broken leg, cruciate ligaments. Perhaps he's broken his spine. I hate this game sometimes. What's actually up with him? Potential thigh injury. Now, to me, that means probably a hamstring. The way it's going the last few weeks of this save, he's probably snapped his thigh. Is that something you can do? I've got no one to go. Dominic Ball can play there. I've not got any more subs to bring on. For goodness sake. What is going on? What did I do? I'm going to end up having to leave Ipswich. I've loved this time at Ipswich until this transfer window. Ipswich has been fantastic. But, that's Rooney Rose. I thought Tavernier was frustrated that he got injured again. As frustrated as I am. Right, the title's gone. Bournemouth won, we lost. They're 7 points away from us. It's already February. We're not going to win the league. QPR are breathing down our necks in third place. We need to win this next game. Right, the game's laughing at me. James Tavernier has torn his hamstring. He's out for 2 to 3 months. So we've not got Emmanuel, who's playing for Bournemouth, our title rivals. We've not got Tavernier pretty much for the rest of the season. At least we've got Dominic Ball, our utility man, who can play anywhere across the back four. He'll slot in. Oh, hang on, no. He's now picked up the little cold that Thierry Ambrose had. We don't have another right back at the club. And we can't bring anyone in because we've got no wage money. And even if we did, the loan window is closed for another couple of days. So today, we're having to play James Maloney at right back. Can't remember who James Maloney is. That's understandable. Because he's too young to be in the side at the moment. I signed him. It was one of my early signings at Ipswich for quite a lot of money. And this is when we still had lots of money to throw around. And I thought, let's throw some money at the Irish League. Bring in this, I think he was like 16 years old at the time. This young centre-back / left-back. No, I'm not saying right-back there. Young centre-back / left-back. Let's bring him in. He'll do a job in 4 or 5 years' time. He's spent the last few seasons out on loan. He went to Boston. He went to Woking. Last 2 years he's been in League One. He actually played quite a few games for Carlisle in League One last season. So at least he's not completely untried in the Football League. But he's only played 2 games for us. He's only started 1 game, and I think that was probably at left back or centre back. You know, the positions he can actually play. He is right-footed, so potentially he might. I mean, there you go. He's a competent right back, but this is what we've got to do now. Bournemouth are 7 points away from us. We're playing QPR in a few days. They're third. They're 1 point behind us in the league. Bournemouth are laughing. They've got Emmanuel, our superstar, came for our youth team, Ipswich lad. He's playing regularly for them, and we're playing a youth team left back / centre back at right back, and we're supposed to be pushing for the title. It's stupid. At least Thierry Ambrose is fit again today. Other than that, we're unchanged. Let's go and hopefully beat Blackburn, because frankly, they're as rubbish as Middlesbrough are. There you go. Look, exactly as rubbish as Middlesbrough are. They're both on 38 points after 33 games. So, in theory, it's another game we should be winning. We should have come out of the Middlesbrough and Blackburn games with 6 points. It's obviously not going to work out that way, though. And they're just good. If I was them, just put eight left wingers on the pitch and just come down our right hand side, where Maloney's never. I've never played him at right back before. He's never played there at any level of our squad. Why would he? He's a centre back / left back. So yeah. Oh, there you go. He's headed the ball away. That's a decent contribution actually. He's got the ball again. He's played Sterling through. He might be a superstar. Sterling lost it, but Ambrose has got the ball back. It's out to Maloney again. He gets the cross in. James Maloney has just scored his first goal of the season. I told you he was good. I knew it would all come out all right. Me and the board, we had a chat and we said, you know what? We probably don't need to keep Emmanuel. £4 million is a lot of money. We've got Tavernier at the club. Even if him and Dominic Ball get injured, we've got this young lad, James Maloney. He's brilliant. He's going to be a real top quality right back. Let's cash in now while Emmanuel's still in the side, because Maloney's probably going to take over from him soon anyway. So we'll cash in now. We're basically mugging Bournemouth. They're having our soon-to-be backup right back for £4 million, and we've got goal-scoring extraordinaire James Maloney. In your face, Bournemouth. Me and the board are like that. Is it still 1-0? That was quite a long speech. Maloney misses out on the ball there. It's the James Maloney show. Can I get an Ipswich shirt with 4 Maloney on the back? How much would that actually cost me? Maloney actually, I mean, that was probably his fault. Probably a right back would have defended that there. Cancel the shirt order. I was excited for a little while there. I think I hid my excitement well, but it's crashing back down to earth now. Christensen intercepts, long ball through to Ambrose. In all the excitement, we're ignoring the fact that we're still not playing very well today. Blackburn have had more shots, more possession. That was our first clear-cut chance of the game. We have been playing better than this recently, and I don't really know why it's going wrong. Rose got the ball back deep, finds Christensen out to Haidara, who I forgot I'd brought him back into the side for Knudsen, because he's fit again now. I was so excited with what was going on at right back. I've got my first choice left back, but in fact, I've got 2 really good left backs. Why don't I just play one of them at right back? Rather than my 4th choice left back at right back. I suppose he's right footed. That can be our explanation for doing that. We should be beating Blackburn. What is happening? Our season. Oh, look at that save from Danny Sotras. That is what I'm talking about. That was world class. But we're still drawing 1-1 away against a team who are in a relegation battle. This isn't good enough. We're not going to get promoted, which means we're going to lose Sterling and Ambrose, which means I'm going to leave. And after 3 years of not getting Ipswich up into the Premier League with the amount of money we've spent, who's going to have me? Right, we'll take Sterling off. Gomez can come on. We'll take Ambrose off as well. Why not? It worked really well last game, not having either of them. So let's do it again. Last 20 minutes. It's the Gomez and Maraglia show. The midfield aren't doing anything either, are they? Got Henry Lansbury. He can probably come on for Zubeldia maybe in a minute. Let's give Vaughan a chance to score a goal here. Though Zubeldia misses the ball completely. It's out to Maloney, who misses out on his header. And needs to get back into position quick, but Maraglia's through here. He slots it through to, that was a poor ball to Johnny Vaughan. Maloney is massively out of position there and again misses his tackle. All he does is score goals. He's a goal a game right back, but defensively, I mean, if only we'd had a right back tracking that player. I'm unhappy again. I was happy for a little while. What have I not even got? Oh, Lansbury is there. Why have I moved him on the bench? I like players being where they're supposed to be. Lansbury can come on for Rowe. Stupid game. This was supposed to be, look at us carrying on this unbeaten run for a little while longer. We're doing really well. Aren't we great? This wasn't supposed to be go to 2 rubbish teams and lose twice, lose all our right backs. There was a comment last season probably. Ipswich Town, the place fullbacks go to die. Well, there you go. Fullbacks. I spend so much money on fullbacks in this save, and they do nothing but let me down. Come on, lads. They're down to 10 men, for goodness sake. They've taken, inexplicably, they've got no left winger now, so Maloney shouldn't be under too much pressure now. He's free to run forward and get another goal. Vaughan, with a good chance, should have done better with it. And we've now got Lansbury with the corner. He hits a beautiful corner, but that isn't one of his best. He tries to get the ball in again, finds Christensen. We've got another corner. Come on, we need to get an equaliser at least. We can't be losing both of these games. We're down to third. We go to QPR in 3 days' time. They're already 2 points ahead of us. The wheels have come off already, and the blame is 100% with the board, who should have shown a little bit of ambition and kept hold of Joshua Emmanuel. Maloney with the cross again. Who cares? We've lost. We're not in the automatic promotion places anymore. We've gone from being 4 points behind Bournemouth to 10 points behind him. No, more than that. Brilliant. We're 13 points behind Bournemouth now. How does that even happen in 2 games? Oh, they've played an extra one. Okay, I'll allow it. But they've won the 3 games that have gone on during this episode. We've lost all of ours. The title is gone already. I imagine Emmanuel scored about 8 goals across those 2 games for him. And now we need to be looking over our shoulder and thinking, right, we're playing a few months without a right back. We're only 10 points clear of Stoke in 7th place, just outside the playoffs. We surely are not going to bottle it again. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel so that you can find out which fullback dies or leaves next. Thank you very much for watching.